Welcome back, everybody. The job of nursing home inspectors is to keep those homes safe for the people you love.
But Action News Investigates has found a case of the nursing home industry telling the nursing home regulators how to do their job and succeeding.
Yeah, investigative reporter Paul Van Osdal is joining us. So what's the overlying concern here?
Well, there is concern. You know, inspection reports are critical tools for families who sue nursing homes when something bad happens to their loved ones. But last year, the state health department, which inspects nursing homes, posted a disclaimer on its website that says the reports are not intended to be used in lawsuits. We've learned the nursing home industry not only lobbied for that disclaimer, but also helped write it.
What'd you get, Grandma?
This home video shows Madeline Scampone celebrating one of her last birthdays at Highland Park Care Center, the nursing home where she spent her final years. After she died, her son sued Highland Park Care Center. The lawsuit accused the home of depriving Scampone of adequate food, water, and medicine. Her lawyers wanted to use inspection reports showing the home was cited for inadequate staffing and failure to prevent some residents from dehydration. But the nursing home fought back, citing this disclaimer on the health department website, saying inspection reports are not intended to be evidence of compliance with any legal standard of care in third-party litigation. John Bass is an attorney for the nursing home. The surveys themselves are not to be used in lawsuits?
Well, that's how I read it, and that's what we have taken the position. Absolutely.
That was a surprise to the Scampone family's attorney.
We were even more surprised when we later found out the circumstances surrounding how it came about.
They learned the department began working on the disclaimer only after the nursing home industry's chief lobbyist, Stuart Shapiro of the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association, sent this email to then State Health Secretary Michael Wolf. Shapiro was worried about what he called unfair and misleading advertising by a major law firm that sues nursing homes. He hoped to meet with the health secretary to explore some potential solutions. Within hours, Wolf told his aide, set this up. Emails obtained by Action News Investigates reveal that during the next year, nursing home industry lawyers and health department officials worked together to write the disclaimer. In this email to Wolf and Deputy Secretary Anna Marie Sosong, the chief nursing home regulator, an industry attorney praises her willingness to work cooperatively and creatively to find a solution that is both effective and quick to implement. I asked Sosong about the disclaimer. Why use that language? Is it because that's what the industry wanted?
It's certainly because it was expressed as a concern to the department.
I spoke by phone with Shapiro, the nursing home lobbyist. It appeared that the industry itself was actually writing the language that was used in the disclaimer. Is that the case?
The Department of Health posted the disclaimer, was responsible for the disclaimer, and we were delighted that they did it because of the predatory law firms.
No patient advocacy groups, no AARP, nobody else was asked about this other than the nursing home industry and their attorneys. Why not?
Well, it sort of affects them, I would guess. It's their, not the industry. Not
it affects people who are in the homes too, right?
Yes, it does. But it's a significant improvement for the public.
That view was not shared by some people we talked to who have loved ones in nursing homes. Should anybody be telling you how you can use these public records of how these nursing homes are inspected?
No, you should have, that's your right.
We need to challenge the state to make a change, because that's not fair to us, not fair to the patients, and, you know, it's not right.
An expert in government ethics tells me these emails reveal an overly cozy relationship between the nursing home lobby and the state's nursing home regulators, who are supposed to be protecting the public. Barry Kaufman is director of Common Cause Pennsylvania.
It almost looks like that the industry captures the agency which is supposed to be monitoring them.
Records show the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association spent $461,000 on lobbying expenses last year. But the nursing home attorney says trial lawyers are also active lobbyists.
I think it's naive for any of us to think that anything that comes out of any governmental agency is not based upon some form of lobby.
Kaufman worries about what that could lead to when it comes to nursing homes.
Their loved one's life may be at stake. Certainly their health may be at stake.
After we questioned the health department, they did change one thing on the website. Instead of calling it a disclaimer, it's now referred to as an explainer. So
All right, Paul, so now what did the judge decide in this case?
Well, in that case involving Mrs. Scampone, the judge did side with the family and allowed the inspection reports to be used at the most recent trial, but the jury actually sided with the nursing home and rejected the family's attempt to win punitive damages. In an earlier trial, the Scampone family did win $193,000 in compensatory damages. They are appealing that most recent trial decision.
It's a huge issue.
It certainly is.
And it's a lot to think about.
And it could affect a lot of folks down the road.
It could really impact a lot of people. Paul, thank you.
Okay.